Hey there everyone, Noir here and welcome to another Petscop Fan Theories episode, a very unexpected one at that. As I said in my previous video, and if there are any other episodes or anything like that for Petscop in the future, I'm going to say this at every part of the Fan Theories episodes. If you haven't watched any of the other Fan Theories, I'd suggest pausing this video and checking them out first so that everybody's on the same page with which theories we're currently running with. Okay, so allow me to begin with the fact that I am so happy to be wrong about my initial thoughts on when the next episode would come out, because I was thinking that they would take until about June the 5th to release it, which was the dating game of the girl's kidnapping. But since Christmas Day, my hat-wielding brain as well has been in overload trying to piece together everything into something that's a little bit more tangible and coherent in my own head. So in spite of not having a definitive answer to any Petscop's myriad of questions, I love trying to crack it, and now I don't have to basically wait for a long time, which is lovely. And just to mention, there's nothing else new about the channel itself that's changed, so we're heading straight into the video. Here we go. So, we start off this episode with another demo. The entire video itself is taking place as a demo as well. There's a number of people that have already pieced together that these demos are either taking place outside of Paul's gameplay and then edited in at a later time, or that they're foreshadowing events that will take place further down the line in the series. We're greeted with the Avatar entering the Quitter's room, where he wanders around in a seemingly random fashion, but then suddenly the scene resets to him entering the room again, but this time instead of the usual mirror image that we would see, it's toting some new interesting headgear in the style of a red prism. The Avatar then heads towards the note that we saw in a previous episode that said, "Remember being born." But instead of reading the note, the Avatar basically stands there for a few seconds and then leaves the room without interacting with it. Once the Avatar reaches the area outside, he runs into the red prism Avatar, who completely phases into him. After moving through a few different areas back and forth, a familiar clicking noise occurs and a text box appears saying, "Hi Belle, you're free. I left these messages for you to look at in case you were ever rescued. So while you walk around looking for something to do, I'll come up periodically. When the messages run out, I'll be out of your hair forever and ever." This is a new person that we have never heard of before, and it's clearly the name for the red prism Avatar. Then we cut to Mike's gravestone once again, and another text box appears, this time saying, "You've apparently been running Petscop non-stop for 553,758,221 seconds, or 153,822 hours. That looks dubious to me. What do you think?" Now, after checking it up and obviously doing some calculations with the help of the internet, 153,822 hours equals approximately 17.5 years, which from the date that this was uploaded, which I believe was midnight of January the 5th, that would take us back to June the 5th, 2000. So what do you know, it turns out that I actually had it the wrong way around. This all began on June the 5th, if that's to be believed. Anyway, moving on, we get another set of text which goes like this. "Are you still sitting on a chair? Can you still look around the room? Is there still a room?" Then we get, "This is the child library, you're not family, so I didn't add your traits to the face system. That means I didn't add your eyes, or your eyebrows, or your nose." This appears to be either a reference to Belle being adopted or anything like that, or basically not being a blood relation to Raina's family, or it could even be just as literal as it looks. The Avatar then heads up to a doorway that opened up all the way back in Petscop 2, where we're greeted with a very familiar face by now, Marvin. He walks around him for a moment until we're greeted with the words, "Don't get lost." I think this could be referencing the ending of the last episode, Petscop 11, where they were talking about who I presume to be the missing girl that had tripped, fallen, and was now lost. Then we're given the words up on the screen, "Happy birthday, Belle. I'm calling you Belle because that's who you are. You might be confused as to what happened. I was overeager before, and started calling you Tiara prematurely. I created a space in the menu for you, still unused now. Then I put you inside the machine and played the second movement of Stravinsky's septet on the needles. I played it wrong, but that would have been okay. If you hadn't given up halfway, you would be Tiara. This is not what happened, and now I'm gone. So to put that into perspective, I think that this entire episode is one of the biggest, in spite of it being short and obviously not showing Paul himself, just the avatar going around in the demo. I think it's one of the biggest points that we've seen so far. Because now we know the name of the missing girl. Belle. And also, here's a very bold thought, but this is my thought on the matter. Essentially, the Candice Newmaker references were put in there as sort of a smoke screen to put people off the trail of who the actual person is that's supposed to be the main focal point of this story, which is Belle and the missing girl. Obviously, we didn't really find out much about this until the latter end of the episodes. So, Candice Newmaker was put in there so everyone would think that all of those references and the entire thing was built around that. And it turns out that it isn't. It turns out that Tiara and that name that was linked with Candice Newmaker was placed in there just to make people think differently. That's what I'm running with. Obviously, who knows, I might be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I've got it out very quickly, but as soon as I'd found out that this, obviously Petscop 12 had come out, I had to start analysing. I loved it, especially due to the fact that so many people have seen the last one. I had to make sure that I got this out as quickly as possible so I can keep this fun going. And I'm loving the discussions that we're having as well, and I hope to have more in this one also. So, if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section. Even if you didn't, once again, let me know. But just try and keep it nice, because I always like having discussions. And I do take criticism, don't worry about that. Because I've noticed a couple of people in the comment section of the last episode that were seemingly worried about, obviously, the music being loud, and they seemed a bit sheepish about telling me that. Don't worry about it. I've gotten it fixed in this one, I hope. So, if I haven't, once again, let me know, because I do like the criticism. It helps me to improve as a creator, and I want to be the best creator that you guys want to watch. So, thank you very much, everyone. Keep on surviving, and hopefully it doesn't take too long for the next episode of Petscop to come out.